guys, Blazer here, and here is the second Retribution Paladin PvP guide, part 2. Now, in this guide, I will explain why we are choosing the stats for Ret Paladin and why we are choosing certain gems. If your gear has any socketed parts to put any gems inside. Now, let's start with the first two enchants you just should have is 9 plus versatility to both of your rings, because versatility is a mandatory stat now in PvP. And for the weapon enchant, we are going to say that the best option is masterful navigation, but then personally my opinion is quick navigation enchant because of the stacking haste that this enchant gives, which allows my abilities and spells to get off of global cooldown faster so that I can attack faster and hit with my abilities faster and all of that. And if you do have any gear that has gem sockets, I would recommend 2 stats, and that would be haste or versatility for the gear that you have socketed parts in. Now let's begin with one of my most favorite macros. Now this macro, I have altered it throughout time, and I just wanted to give this macro to you, my viewers, that play the same class that I do and the same spec that I do. Now this is my one-shot macro. I've used this macro all through Legion, and I've used this macro all through the entirety of Battle for Azeroth. It's just been altered through time, and this is my one-shot macro. Alright, now the first things you are going to have to put into your new one-shot macro for Retribution is slash cast Avenging Wrath, and then slash use Saltwater Potion, and then slash cast Holy Avenger, and then here, now my trick here, my sneaky little trick that just kind of makes me more powerful than the next player, is just double trinketing has been the secret throughout World of Warcraft. Now, I would recommend that if you don't have any DPS trinkets like these, the Corrupted Gladiators badge, you can now purchase PvP gear and PvP trinkets in Stormwind. There is a vendor where all of the other PvP vendors are. That vendor specifically only sells Corrupted Glad gear. Now, Moving towards the macro again. Slash. Slash use Corrupted Gladiator's Badge. Then the next macro I have for my DPS is slash use Jess's Howler. Now I've used this through the entirety of Battle for Azeroth, and this is pretty much my macro. And just a note that the salt water potion will only be used in battlegrounds. Now it cannot be used in duels. Now that I've went over a one-shot macro that can pretty much help you guys out in PvP, we're going to go over another list of things that I would like to show you guys to increase your DPS and damage in battlegrounds or in PvP. Well, actually, just battlegrounds, epic battlegrounds, because these are food buffs. Now, the food buff that I use for PvPing is swamp fish and chips, because of the haste. Now, if anything has haste, I'm going to use it because haste is my favorite stat. Now, swamp fish and chips will be your first food buff for PvPing. Now keep that in mind. You can use other food buffs. There is a strength food buff and a versatility food buff, but in my opinion, for PvP, I always use haste food. Now, you're going to want to use a flask of the undertow that increases strength by 25 for PvP. That would count as battle and a guardian elixir. And the effect persists through death, so pretty much there is your flask. And now, oh, I don't have any more augment runes. Wait one moment, let me purchase a stack from the auction house so I can visually show you guys the PvP items that you will use. Alright, here's the auction house. One moment. Give me one moment. Alright, I just bought a stack of augment runes. Now this is going to be your third little trick of pushing the best DPS you can overall in PvP. Now let's see. Because Retribution no longer has their Paladin blessings anymore, it has been removed due to the release of pre-patch 9.0.1. So, my best choices for buffs would be the Battle Scarred Augment Rune, number 1, for food buff, Swamp Fish and Chips, number 2. Alright. Alright, now last buff to use in PvP, but not least, Flask of the Undertow. Now, I do hope that these items that are allowed in PvP does help and boost your performance a little more better in PvP and gives you a much more competitive edge. And I would just like to also mention these other items here that you can use in PvP. Now, because I'm pretty much always a primary target in PvP, sadly, I have to devise my own ways to get away. Every now and then, you can use Swiftness Potion, which is my favorite. I mean, I'm gone. Like, I just run so fast. I mean, what's best about that? Now, oh, Goblin Gliders. We don't have any more of those now, do we? Okay, let's see. Now, the other items you can use is the Goblin Glider in PvP and Swiftness Potion. Let's buy some of those gliders first. One moment. Now that I went over the flask, the augment runes, the food buffs that you can use in PvP, let's see now, with all of the talents, all of our stats, all of our buffs, all of our macros, all of our gems, etc., etc. Let's finally get to the big show and see what the macro can do. Now here it is. Now, just keep in mind that why I stack so much haste is because it brings your abilities off of global cooldown much faster, and it just allows for just sheer speed attacking like this. And I mean, it's not like you're playing a range class or like a caster class where, oh, you're casting 1 second, casting for 2 seconds, casting for 3 seconds, but then by the time your cast already got to like the 2.5 seconds or 3 seconds, you are just dead by a melee class that stacks so much haste like this. And I hope that my viewers and my audience will use all of the information I have provided, and that you will apply them to your characters and your routine in World of Warcraft. And thank you again for watching the second Retribution Paladin guide. And have a great day, everyone. Please stay safe from Corona. Follow all of the Corona rules and regulations within your state or country, and obey all of the laws. Obey all of the laws that revolve around the Corona. And please take the Corona matter seriously. And please wear a mask all the time. Keep 6 feet from people. and all that. And yeah, just be safe, everyone. It's still a pandemic out there and it's pretty hectic. So, thank you to my viewers. Thank you to my audience. Have a great day and please enjoy the great content.